Hi, hello, and welcome
Right.
to this edition of nicheBrains Expert Review of the Week. I am John Vincent, co-founder of nicheBrains and the host for this session. Just a quick brief about nicheBrains. nicheBrains is a digital transformation platform which connects millions of SMEs with the best of brains across the globe to adopt digital transformation to help them grow their business exponentially, thus democratizing digital transformation. In today's session, we have Mr. Nanda Kishore, a supply chain industry veteran with over 16 years of experience in this field and also an expert on the nicheBrains platform. Welcome to the session, Mr. Kishore.
Oh, thank you very much. It's nice of you to have me on board.
Right. Thank you. Just a quick brief on Kishore. Kishore has served in several small and large companies, from SMEs to world-renowned supply chain entities like Zafran, Zodiac Aerospace, Ansett Aircraft Spares, as well as stints in General Electric, UPS, American Express, and has honed these skills over these past few years with global working experience with C-suite leadership teams in the US, the UK, the Netherlands, France, Singapore, and Thailand. He has been involved in key business transformation projects that has optimized manufacturing footprint and service delivery across the world. In addition, he has worked on several mergers and acquisitions and has got first-hand experience on how critical company-wide alignments in terms of Hoshin country strategy, medium-term plans, being agile and resilient in a cutthroat competitive market. So before I go more, let's hear it from Mr. Kishore himself. So Kishore, if you can just share us a quick background about yourself, your introduction, your journey and how you became an independent consultant, the industries you have worked with, the companies, the positions you have helped and worked on, the domains and the regions. So it will be great to hear from you, Mr. Kishore.
All right. Thank you again, John, for the lovely introduction. So, hello, everyone. As John mentioned, my name is Nanda Kishore. I'm from India, and I have spent the last 20 years outside of India. So that is what kind of made me to look at the world in a different perspective. I have bachelor's degree in industrial engineering. I done a master's in industrial engineering as well as an MBA. I studied in the US for the two masters, and after that, I started working around with a few internships and stints with General Electric, American Express, UPS, a wide variety of these companies and their products. But one thing that stuck to me is the commonality or similarity in terms of their processes, their business operations, and other areas. So eventually, I was recruited by Zodiac Aerospace when I was working for Ansett, because we are working on distributorship for Zodiac products. So that's how the whole journey has started and progressed over the period of time. Just to go back a little bit where Ansett started, Ansett Australia was a very popular long haul airline out of Australia. Unfortunately, like several big names, they also have to go bankrupt during 2001, 9/11, as well as some other reasons. And it was really a game changer. It was mind numbing for all the employees that are involved. And unfortunately, they brought me in as part of the administratorship and having to lean out the operations. So the journey was quite well eventually, but initially we had a lot of hiccups, and eventually the company turned around and they are doing very good nowadays. So that was a quick introduction. And after that, Zodiac Aerospace, I was working with setting up their aftermarket operations, taking care of North America and South America. That was a distribution ship set up in Atlanta region.
Right.
And eventually Zodiac also was merged or acquired by Safran, which is a landing gear, engines, and APU expert, whereas Zodiac Aerospace was a cabin interiors expert. So it was a perfect marriage, you must say. So it's a very good integration part on the whole Safran strategy. But the businesses couldn't be so diverse, like the mentality, the mindset, the management processes, they are quite diverse. So trying to merge Zodiac Aerospace with Safran has been one of the most very productive works projects that I must say. So eventually the synergies have come into play, and now it's all kind of aligned in terms of saffron management principles. So that's a quick brief, John.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Kishore, just moving on, can you describe any specific customer experience in digital transformation in detail that you have done? You know, the challenges you faced, the value that you created for the customer.
Okay, very nice. So being in the role of supply chain director, so it's kind of the area where anything and everything goes along with the kitchen sink. So
Yeah.
production, they're able to take care of the production and manufacturing. Whereas supply chain, you are dealing with the customers, you're dealing with the suppliers, and in between your whole entire value chain. So one of the good examples that I remember is where we are making cabin interior catering trolleys,
Yeah.
and these trolleys are custom designed. So
Right.
generally, if you're looking at a part, you have the planning, you have the forecast, you make it, you keep it into stock, and then you ship it out when the customer calls. Whereas here the journey is reversed. So
Mm-hmm.
the customer comes in, they have to want something with their own logos and custom designed for that particular airline in terms of dimensions and whole bill of materials as well. So that
Yeah.
makes the supply chain challenging as well as more entertaining also. So the reason why we have to embark on the digital transformation is, just like a customer, when they place an order, they're very eager to receive the goods, and they are not going to wait for years and years for us to line up the supply chain.
Right.
So under the supply base, we had to deal with at least 150 different suppliers who are trying to give us the parts that we have to put together. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how the digital transformation that we embarked on to try to create visibility in our company and have the same visibility for the suppliers also, by creating a supplier portal, by creating a dashboard that gives them access to our inventory requirements as well as their production planning. So it's kind of a beautiful merger, I must say, of the
Right.
information that you need on both sides. So that was one of the important digital transformations that we have embarked on.
Right.
And most of the times we are relying on Excel and emails going back and forth. And if you could quickly multiply that by 150 times 300,
Right.
the value you see at the end of the day with such a small simple, in the technical field, it's very simple methodology by
Mm-hmm.
installing all that onto supply chain analytics, but the value we gained out of it is tremendous. So that was the most
So
recent one. Yeah.
right. So is it only the up chain that had the visibility, or even the down chain? When I mean your customers did also have the visibility of your inventory as well, or it was only your suppliers had visibility of your needs?
No, it's
Which
both upstream
both
and
in both
downstream. So
on right,
yeah. So what the customer appreciated is, most of the times, we would have some kind of supply chain delays or delivery problems, or capacity to book some 3 containers from the port. But what the
right,
customer really appreciated out of this is we were able to have them access to our production system, and they are
right,
able to log in and they're able to see where their products are in the production process. So you can see the graph moving this way across their
absolutely,
order lines. And the suppliers, they did not have the whole visibility from the customer standpoint, but they had their own part numbers, their own quantities,
right.
and whatever they have to produce and support us. So that was, in my opinion, beauty in its simplicity.
Absolutely. I think it's a very key case study, because today, visibility across supply chain is a very key aspect, which I really appreciate. That you've been part of, and you've been able to manage it in Zodiac and Saffron. So, you know
Right,
because today, as we see, most of the challenges that either the suppliers or the customers have is clearly in terms of visibility. So even if you
right.
Even if you take the case of the online portals that we deal with, the
Yeah,
visibility of stock
yeah,
is very key. Because I
exactly.
remember, sometime back when I used to order in some online portal, it
Uh-huh.
used to come back saying the stock is, after I ordered, the stock is not available. Which was disappointing.
Right.
Today,
Yeah,
Amazon has taken it to a different level in terms wherein they have a clear visibility of the stock. When you order, you are sure you get it, right? So that's
right.
very key, and especially in an industry like the airline industry, which works on timelines and the insights of the requirements. So it's very important that we have these visibilities. Yeah, I think it's a fabulous case study that you have put across, Kishore.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah, great. So Kishore, just moving on. What do you think is the impact of a digital transformation in your industry? That's probably the manufacturing or probably the B2B.
Right.
When you talk about the product, supply chain management, you talk about business process or innovation in the coming years.
Yeah. So one of the real aspects you have to see is more and more customer or B2B also elements. Gone are the days where you make 10,000 of these widgets and you have to ship one or two of them at a time, or you send two or three pallets to a distributor, right? So
Correct.
we have to really think about mass customization. If you look at BMW website, you can go and design your own car. So
All
that
right.
is the customer journey. So you can select the stereo system, you can select the color of the seats, and that is the ultimate beauty in terms of mass customization, right?
Absolutely.
And you could imagine the supply chain that goes behind it. So that is one of our aspirations, to be able to go there and imagine you're selecting all the bells and whistles and options that we have, and eventually that integrates into our production planning system, so that way the bill of materials is automatically generated. The customer is able to see the journey of the product being manufactured through 20 different stages, and they are able to see, as it passes from one milestone to another milestone. So one of the biggest elements in this that helps big and small industries is just to take one business case and doing it. Because I can
Right.
say 20 different examples that might have worked for our companies, but it might or might not be very familiar or very appealing to other companies, right? So I truly believe that every problem is unique. We just
Right.
have to put the brains together and try to find not the highest, most complicated widget, but just start very small. It
Right.
could be as simple as a pick and place robot, or it could be as simple as connecting the CNC machines to a dashboard. So that way you see which ones are running, which ones are down for maintenance, which one is going to a job change or changeover, and things like that. Once we have the visibility, then it's endless opportunities from there. Whether we want to control and make the production efficiencies that work very well for the company itself, or we want to take it to the customer journey also and make them part of the process. Yeah. So
Right.
I see this going on more and more in the coming years. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you made some valid points there, Kishore, in terms of it's not about looking at the thinking that digital transformation is something that's huge or something, but you need to have somewhere to start, because
Right.
in as we go down in the years to come, digital transformation is no more a choice, right?
Correct.
It is a necessity. So
Yeah.
companies have to start planning, and it doesn't mean that you need to do a large scale change in your organization, but at least look at small changes which can have a larger impact as we go forward, right? So that's what I take it
Right.
as takeaway here, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So it
So but
could be,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. So I'm saying, yeah, we don't have to start off with the most complicated case,
Right.
because most of the time, 70% of these projects are failing, either because the teams are not able to get out of the wall, or
Mhm.
the business case doesn't work because there are so many different different things involved. But start
Right.
small. gain some momentum. The team also gains confidence,
Yeah.
and then we have to go on to the bigger and better things.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so do SMEs need to make any special preparations, to transform, be ready for this transformation?
So
Do you
no,
see?
I
Yeah.
yeah, in my opinion, the SMEs are ready as they could be. The times they are the most agile in terms of being able to market the product, first one to the market and so on. But at the same time, the downside of it is SMEs don't have like levels and levels of hierarchy in terms of staff to be able to manage all these. So
Right.
whenever they try to embark on a digital transformation, it's the same team members. One of them have to volunteer
Right.
or
That's true.
volunteer, or they will be forced to volunteer to take on this additional project.
Right.
And that is where I have seen a lot of these projects not being able to have enough sponsorship, enough support, and maybe everyone is very happy for the first 1 month that they are embarking on this huge journey, but they
Right.
quickly lose steam. The
Right.
momentum is lost. And so in my opinion, if they bring in an external expert or somebody that
Mm.
just takes on this task, and if they are able to deliver very quickly, 1 or 2 months, just come up with the business case, look at 5 options, and then just be done with it. Or setting up the roadmap, look at all the ideas that they have, pick the best ones to implement with the
Right.
lowest effort and highest return on experience, then that would be uh, at least a proven method that kind of helps the team to get a little bit of breather. Otherwise, it'll be the finance guy or IS guy that will be responsible for rolling out this digital transformation, and the rest of the
Right.
team do not think it's their part of the
True.
project.
True. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh, just go on. What so just on a personal side. So what
right.
is your motivation to become a independent consultant, Kishore?
Okay. So after worked in the huge company as Safran or Zodiac Aerospace for the last 12 years,
Hmm.
I thought it's time for me to come back home
Yeah.
because I spent 20 years abroad. And
Right.
when I wanted to come back home, I didn't want to go back to work for the same company, but I wanted to be a team trainer. And the best way for me to coach and team and guide multiple teams at the same time is to be an independent consultant. So that way we can
Right.
have in the same time help different team members, because when you're working with the company, sometimes the alignment is not the same. So
Okay.
you're working in a plant, you're working on one process, and that would take 3 or 4 years.
Right.
But I
Right.
wanted to bat quickly. I wanted to be like a T20 format as opposed to be a test match.
Yeah.
So being an independent consultant kind of gives me that advantage.
Right. Yeah. I think that it's what we call it as flexibility. I think you have flexibility and more options. So
Right,
those are
right,
the key factors which I would say, when you look at an independent consultant, obviously you have a chance to work with different teams, different companies, as well as
right,
work at your pace, your timelines. So it gives you that flexibility, right? And the
right, right.
options as well in terms when I say the multiple companies that you work with, right?
Correct.
So, yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
And sorry, John, and one of the advantages is to try to put these companies together. So just be the mediator or the
right,
negotiator in between. So
right,
that's what I'm trying to bring to the table, not just the experience, but the
right.
context. Oh, I remember doing this at that particular supplier, or I remember seeing this at this particular customer. So just throw out the ideas and try to motivate the team to be able to go forward.
Absolutely. Great, great.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the future of independent consulting, and your advice as well for people pursuing this?
I'm saying, we have to take the time and opportunity. Now is better than any other time in the whole
Right,
history. And also for the companies, in the past, if there is a challenge for a specific company or for a specific process, they will start advertising that position. Somebody who is coming in as the head of that department, he or she is going to clean up this mess. And it would take 3 months to find the right candidate to do so.
Yeah.
And then they have to take 2 or 3 months for the candidate to be able to understand all the ins and outs. So
Right.
after 6 months, then you are at a stage where you know what the mess is or the quantity of the mess. And
Right.
then imagine how long it will take for them to actually come out of that, right?
That's
Whereas
true.
now with gig economy, whether it's calling in an Uber as opposed to owning a car, it's
Right.
also you can call in a consultant as opposed to having somebody who is the manager of this department that's responsible for everything. And it's just quickly in and out. Sometimes it will be 2 months, sometimes it will be a few weeks, but that would be the shared economy or the gig economy that we are in. And it helps very good because the companies can also stay lean and agile. They don't have to have
Absolutely.
ranks and ranks of these problem solvers that are sitting on the bench or traveling
Yeah.
from across the world to come to this part of the world and try to fix the problems. So in my idea, yeah, now is a better time than anything else, with the more work from home being the new normal, and
Right.
just being able to deliver from wherever you are.
Yeah, I think yeah, it makes sense, right? So in terms when a company needs a specific expertise for a shorter period of time, you would
Right,
hire and keep it on as a as an investment on top of you, right? So you would like to
right,
keep it as a very short engagement. Once the engagement is done and the expert walks out, and you move on. So for your next assignment, you look in for a different expert. So I
right,
think the future looks really great for independent consulting. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
definitely. So
So,
that's what I am suggesting all my colleagues also. And
yeah.
also some of the companies, yeah, I get offered quite a few jobs, and I said, no, you don't need a full-time employee for this. You
Absolutely.
just bring in a consultant. It could be me, it could be somebody else, or it could be somebody that we can refer to. But they will come in, they will try to understand, lay out the roadmap, and just guide the teams as they go along. And then it has to be part and parcel of the teams that are eventually there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Just so finally, uh, what is the your message in terms of your value proposition you can give to your target customers?
So for me, one of the target customers that I think that keeps me apart is, I'm able to bring in the technical standpoint as well as the managerial, the soft skills. Because most of the times you bring in a software consultant, he might be very so much deeply involved into the software portion of it that he is not able to take a breather and look out at the rest of the team members, whether they are able to follow him or not, whether they are left behind. So my expertise is to try to bring in the problem solving to be part of the daily nature of the team members. So every teams have stand-up meetings. So by filling in some of these tools, the teams are able to guide and solve themselves. And eventually it'll become like the very agile, productive team members that are pretty much self-managed. And that's what you're looking at. The definition of management is to be able to create a team, that at the end you don't need overseeing on a daily basis.
Right.
So that is my unique skill set, I would say, that I'm able to bring in. And that's also what I have heard from my colleagues when I ask them for their opinion, that what is it that we are able to work together as consultants or as somebody who is coming in as a problem solver. um,
Great. Right. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Kishore. For just to wrap it up, the for sharing up, giving your introduction about yourself, and giving your expertise in terms of how companies should prepare. SMEs basically should prepare themselves for the future in terms of digital transformation, and also in terms of how the future of independent consulting is looking forward to, and the future, and also sharing your value proposition to your customers. So thank you so much for this session, Kishore, once again.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to engaging more with you and any of the other customers.
All right. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody. So it was wonderful to have Mr. Kishore today, and we will see you on the other side with another expert in the coming week. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Have a good day. Bye bye.